All right. Hi, everyone. Today, the dietetic interns are going to present shopping on a budget, portion sizes, and building a healthy plate. Mm,
Can't hear.
So if we could go to the next slide. So I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about the Healthy Libraries program before the dietetic interns begin. So the Healthy Libraries program is a partnership with the Public Libraries of Suffolk County, the Suffolk Cooperative Library System Outreach Services Department, and is supported in part by the American Heart Association of Long Island. So the program is an interdisciplinary team of public health, nursing, social work students, and the dietetic interns, whose aim is to provide evidence-based health information, screening, and case management to a diverse community of patrons in the public library setting. We also aim to refer patrons to promote access to appropriate health and social service programs locally that will address their health and social support needs. And we really want our students to experience an interprofessional team and demonstrate the core competencies based on that interprofessional education collaborative. So that's kind of like our overarching goals for the program. Next slide.
Okay, take two. So these are our learning objectives for the presentation. The first one is learn how to effectively shop on a budget.
Learn how to portion common foods and why it is important to do so.
Identify my plate food groups and examples of foods from each group, and explain the importance of consuming foods from each group every day.
Okay, so shopping on a budget. Create a list before going to the store and try to stick to it. Keep a running tally of how much money is adding up in your cart while you shop. Doing this will save you from any surprises when you get to the checkout line and may make you stop and ask yourself if you really need certain items. Buying frozen fruits and vegetables during any season will be cheaper and they'll last longer as well. Many frozen fruits and vegetables are picked and frozen at peak ripeness. So they retain comparable vitamins, minerals, and phytochemicals to fresh. And some frozen produce may even retain more nutrients than when they are eaten fresh. Okay. So purchase fresh fruits and vegetables during their growing season. Buying produce in season is fresher. They'll taste better as well, and they'll also be cheaper. Purchase less meat and more beans and legumes. These will be cheaper and are a great source of protein, fiber, vitamins, and minerals. Meat can be expensive, so if you are going to buy meat, look for deals when it's on sale because you could always buy things and then store extra in the freezer. You could also look for cuts of meat that are cheaper alternatives. For example, buying chicken thighs instead of chicken breasts or ground chuck instead of sirloin. And then generic brands are similar in quality as name brands, and they also cost less. Consumer Reports found that most store brands measure up to name brands in taste and quality, and they're usually 20 to 25% cheaper. Store brands may be found on higher or lower down on the shelves. They're not usually at eye level. That's where the more expensive items are. So try to buy 1 or 2 pantry items per shopping trip. While these are expensive, they're used in small amounts, so they'll last a longer time, and they also help to add extra flavor to foods. Avoid buying foods that provide little nutritional value, like sweetened beverages, candy, cookies, ice cream, and potato chips. Focus on shopping the perimeter of the store. The inside aisles are mostly made up of processed foods, which can derail your budget. So look for the nutrient-dense items and fresh seasonal food. And then lastly, don't shop when you're hungry. That may sound silly, but shopping when you're hungry can lead you to picking up things that sound good in the moment, but they may not really be necessary. And then this is just a general layout of a supermarket. As you can see on the outside is the produce, the seafood, meat, eggs, and dairy, which is where you should really be focusing when you go food shopping.
Okay, so this is your handy guide to portion size. I just wanted to start by showing you the increase in portion size over the years and how much it has grown. So usually how corporations were able to make this happen is because they're using cheaper, less healthy ingredients in the food, and they're making bigger portion sizes out of them for the same price. So sometimes when your plate arrives at a restaurant, there's really enough food for 2 or maybe even 3 people. And to us, this now seems normal. And a lot of times we end up eating the full portion, and it leads to an increase in calorie intake, which can lead to weight gain and obesity. And those put you at risk for chronic illnesses later on. So this also sometimes influences how we cook and eat at home. So if a normal portion size to us is what's given to us in a restaurant, a lot of times we'll go home and we'll serve ourselves the same amount of food and cook the same portion sizes. So the portion distortion that we go through really leads to excess intake. So let's talk about what portion sizes should look like. So on these 3 plates, it's all the same types of food, but to me, plate 3 looks a little more appealing. So it looks like you're getting more food on the plate and you really want to eat it. It's really going to fill you up. In reality, all 3 of these portion sizes are the same. And so what ends up happening is usually when you're home, you're not really measuring your food piece by piece. So you're just filling up the plate so it looks appealing. So if you want a plate that looks like the 3rd plate on the right, but you have the size of the plate on the first one on the left, you're going to overindulge and add more to your plate. So one easy way to control your portion sizes is to actually eat with a smaller plate. So you're less likely to add extra food onto the plate. I know a lot of us and our parents and whoever grew up on the clean plate club. So if you're going to fill your plate up, you're going to eat it all, most likely. So if you stick to the smaller plate, you'll eat less. Okay, so I just want to quickly say that even though the slides we're going to go through next give you examples and guidelines of portion sizes, really what you should be listening to overall is your body, your hunger and fullness cues. So you want to eat when you're slightly hungry and you want, but not starving, and you want to stop eating when you're comfortably full but not stuffed. So, and because of this, like I'm saying, you should listen to your body. Perhaps one meal you choose to eat 2 portions of something, and later in the day you're only eating half a portion of something. So you don't have to go by these guidelines and be so strict about it, but it's just a little guidance for your portion. And for each type of food and different food groups, there's different portion sizes that we can use. So first off, for vegetables, you want to measure a portion size to be about the size of your fist. This will give you about 1 cup of raw vegetables for foods like broccoli, carrots, or peas. A serving of protein is about the size of your palm, which will give you about 3 ounces of food. So like for cooked meat or fish. A serving of grain or starch is about the size of your cupped hand, which should give you about a half a cup of pasta, oatmeal, or a cooked starchy vegetable, maybe like potatoes. And for fats, you want to use about the size of your thumb, which is 2 tablespoons for salad dressing, avocado, or peanut butter, and about the size of a fingertip or 1 teaspoon for oil and butter. So just to recap a little for portion sizes, you want to use a smaller plate so it can help you to keep your portion sizes smaller. You want to listen to your hunger and fullness cues overall so that you can not eat too much and overindulge. And the manual to portioning your foods is right at your fingertips.
So next we're going to talk about how to build a healthy plate. So this is the Bullseye Food Guide. It was created by our director, Josephine. As a whole, the bullseye is broken up into 6 categories. As you can see, each section is sized based on how much you should be consuming of each, hence why the vegetables take up a big area and the fats are smaller. Now you may be asking, why is it shaped like a target? Just like a target, you want to aim for the middle. In the middle, you have water, which is a must every day of our lives. Hydration is crucial. The green area is good and are the recommended foods we should choose each day. The next section is yellow. The yellow foods are okay, but we want to make sure that those foods, the most foods are coming from the green area. And now the outer ring is the red foods. Now this doesn't mean that we should never eat these, but we want to stop and think about these foods. This outer area should be limited, and when consuming these, we should be mindful about our decision. A quick example are the fruits. As you see, the middle is natural fruits, which provide essential vitamins that are good for you. The yellow area is fruits and juices. This is okay, but there are some added sugars that you don't necessarily need. Finally is the outer portion, which is what we need to think about. These fruits are soaked in syrups, which is very unnatural and have a ton of extra calories and sugar. So you may ask yourself, so what does a serving of broccoli look like? How many carrots are in a cup? Let's make this easier. Fill half your plate with fruits and vegetables at each meal or at each occasion. The other half should be carbs and proteins, which are each a fourth of your plate. This is a much simpler way to ensure that you're getting a balanced meal. Often people struggle with measuring the food and portion control. This guide can help you build a healthy plate. So, how to build your plate. Step 1, choose your protein. There are 3 macronutrients: proteins, fats, and carbs. Macronutrients provide calories or energy. The body requires large amounts of macronutrients to sustain life, hence the term macro. So what is it? Proteins consist of amino acids joined by peptide bonds. Our body uses proteins to help build muscle, make hormones, maintain healthy nails and hair, and make antibodies. When choosing your protein, you want to ensure that you are selecting lean meats. What this means is that there is less fat in the meat. For example, steak can often have a lot of marbling or white lines in the meat. This is the fat that is dispersed throughout the meat, which should be limited. Yes, the fats can make the meat tasty, but also seasonings can do the same. While some processed or lunch meats, for example, can be a source of protein, many of those are loaded with salt, which can cause high blood pressure and lead to other health problems. Processed meats have also been linked to other diseases. Also, some people are concerned with protein because they think that animal products are the only way to give your body the amount of protein it needs. By eating a variety of plant-based sources each day, you can ensure your body gets all the essential amino acids it needs. If you see the vegetarian examples at the top. There are plenty to choose from. So the next is choosing your veggie. You will get the most health benefits and protection against disease if you eat a wide variety of fruits and vegetables. Fruits and vegetables are low in fat and sodium. They are a good source of dietary fiber. As part of a well-balanced, regular diet and a healthy, active lifestyle, a high intake of fruits and vegetables can help you reduce obesity, maintain a healthy weight, lower your cholesterol, and lower blood pressure. That's why you should eat your fruits and vegetables every day and make it part of your daily diet. If you look at the diagram at the bottom right, it shows how the different colors provide you with a multitude of benefits. For example, you see how white vegetables keep your heart strong, orange vegetables protect your eye health, etc. So this is why people tell you you should eat the rainbow, because you want to make sure you are provided with many health benefits. Not only that, but varying your fruits and vegetables can make your plate less boring and more flavorful. The last step is choosing your grain. All types of grains are sources of complex carbs and some key vitamins and minerals, but whole grains, the healthiest kind of grains, in particular, are an important part of a healthy diet. Grains are naturally high in fiber, helping you feel full and satisfied, which makes it easier to maintain a healthy body weight. Whole grains are also linked to a lower risk of heart disease, diabetes, certain cancers, and other problems. All whole grain kernels contain three parts: the bran, germ, and endosperm. Each section houses health-promoting nutrients. This diagram is a great visual representation of the difference between your whole grain products versus your white refined grain products. As you can see, the white grain has the bran and germ layers stripped, leaving the carbs and wheat protein while removing the vitamins and fiber. This is why you should eat more whole grains such as brown rice, whole grain bread, whole wheat crackers, and you should have less refined grains, which are, you find that in white bread, white rice, and rich pastas and pretzels. So these are just some examples to give you a better visual as to what a healthy plate should look like. On the right, there are two most common plates that you can see. You can see that there's a variety of color in the fruits and vegetables have. You may also notice that there are beans in the carb portion in the top right pick. This is because beans are a starchy vegetable which provide carbs to the body. Same thing with potatoes, as you see in the bottom left vegetarian plate. The vegetarian plate has tofu as its protein. I wanted to show you these alternative picks of pescatarian diet and vegetarian diet because it is important to follow the same healthy plate guidelines. Being a vegetarian or pescatarian doesn't mean you take out the chicken and you just eat starch and veggies. You should fill that with a protein, such as tofu or fish.
All right, so that, I guess, is the end of the presentation. We can open it to any questions that you may have for the dietetic interns.
How many calories should you have per day?
That depends on the person. So it's different for everybody.
It's going to depend on like your physical activity, whether you're male or female,
How tall you are,
Yeah,
how old you are.
how much you weigh, how much you're interested if you want to lose or gain weight, things like that. So it would be pretty individualized. But if you're looking at a food label, most of them will be based on, actually they'll all be based on 2,000 calories a day. So if you're wondering for food label reading purposes.
Oh, okay.
And can I ask what sounds like a really stupid question? What is a pantry item?
Pantry item, like things like salad dressings, like barbecue sauce, things like that. That don't have to be refrigerated until they're opened.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Is there a healthy alternative for a substitute, I should say, for potato chips? Not nuts and seeds or fruit or vegetables, something in the chip family.
Well, one healthier option is you could just make it at home. You could bake, cut up a potato and bake it with just a little bit of oil versus buying like a processed chip from the store.
And if you are buying from the store, there are baked options at the store. There are other things now like made out of chickpeas. There are like chickpea puffs. It's not really a chip. It's more of a puff, like a chip puff kind of thing. But those are a better option. There's kale chips. You can make chips out of basically any vegetable. So I know they sell a lot of those things, but you could also make those things on your own too.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
One more question, if I could. Are we going to get a copy of the webinar?
Yeah, so what will happen is the webinar is recorded, and in the next day or two, it'll be uploaded to our YouTube page. So if you go to YouTube and you just search Healthy Libraries Program, in YouTube, our channel will pop up, and then all of the video, all of the webinars we've done in the past, they're all recorded and posted there for you to view in your free time. Also, we send out the video recordings to our public library partners. So when they get the chance to upload it to their YouTube, or some of the different libraries like to post them to their websites, it's like dependent on each library, they post them in their own way. Your library may also post the recording, but usually the quickest way to access the webinar recordings is just directly on our own YouTube page, because those will go up, right away. Then the recordings distributed to each of the libraries for them to post how they feel is appropriate. So you can visit the YouTube page, just search our name, and if you can't find it under the YouTube page, and you want to contact us for any reason, we do have an email, and I'm going to write it in the chat box, and it's basically just healthy_libraries_program@stonybrookmedicine.edu. If you have any health related questions, they may not necessarily be diet related questions, but they could be on any health topic. You could contact us there, and the students can find health information resources for you. So the nursing students, public health, library science. If it's a diet question, we could potentially ask the dietetic interns. And we also have social workers who work with us. So if you need help with any social support programs, maybe, signing up for any government assistant programs, anything like that, we also have social work interns. So you can contact us at the email. That's the quickest way to, reach us. So I'll just send it again. And I don't know if everyone can see our email. But yeah. And you'll also see on our YouTube page, there's a variety of other pre-recorded webinars on various topics like cardiovascular disease and heart health. We did a COVID-19 update recently. For back to school, we did kind of like a COVID-19 and back to school webinar on disinfection and, adjusting to maybe going fully virtual for school, or doing fully in person, or kind of that hybrid that schools are doing. We're doing a health literacy webinar next week. So that's about how to search for reliable health information online. That's next Tuesday. So we have a variety of different programs scheduled. And we also have a Facebook page. If you search Healthy Libraries Program in Facebook, you can find all of our information on upcoming events, as well as your local library also should have our events on their newsletter and calendars. So yeah. Are there any other questions? All right, so I guess that concludes the webinar, since there's no more questions. Again, feel free to reach out to us by emailing us, or visiting the YouTube page, or attending any of our upcoming webinars. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, take care.
Bye.
Thank you.